Welcome back to another Marvel Legends action figure review. Today we're going to be looking at the Wolverine and Hulk 2-pack, or as I'd like to call it, the face-off pack from the 80 Years line from Hasbro. So we are looking at the new Wolverine and Hulk 2-pack from Hasbro, very similar to the old face-off or versus 2-packs that we used to get in the Toy Biz days. For me, this one and the Colossus and Juggernaut are very reminiscent of the face-off 2-packs. I think they're just called a standard twin pack or a twin set or a 2-pack. For me, I'm going to be referring to these sets as a face-off pack, as they do obviously encounter each other. This specific set focuses on the Wolverine's first appearance in Hulk 181, as you can see there on the back. That was the original comic to which the Wolverine made his first appearance. Funny story, if you didn't already know about the Wolverine, he almost actually was named the Badger by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko back in the days of the comics. Obviously the Badger I don't think would have stood the test of time, but they did obviously revisited that name with the more recent Honey Badger within the X-Men series. So that was a quite an interesting nod to get that potential name back in circulation. As you can see, we've got multiple bios here on Wolverine and Hulk. I'll pop them up in the description so you can see them later on. More artwork on the side. This box is massive, so I am struggling to get it all in shot, but as you can see with the Marvel Legends the Marvel Legends logo, Hulk versus Wolverine on the side, nice angry Hulk head, and then if we tilt it a little bit to get it into frame, got another comic rendition of the Hulk. On the other side we've got the spot varnish again, Marvel Legends series, first appearance Wolverine, another nice shot of Wolverine there, and then final picture. So yeah, really nice looking set. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break these guys out. As you can see, there's a couple of accessories with both. A couple of, by accessories I mean hands. I'm going to break them out, do a couple of size comparisons and have a look at the detail. Fingers crossed there's no paint imperfections, and I've ended up with a decent set. So here we have the Wolverine and Hulk out of the packaging, and I've got to admit this 2-pack is really impressive. The Wolverine is about a 95% reuse of everything that we've had before, other than the head, the shoulder pads. The colouring is new, it's different. In fact, this is the colouring I would have preferred on the original Wolverine, the Tiger Stripe Wolverine that we got. As you can see, one on the right has a bit more of an orange tinge to it, the one on the left is a pure yellow. I would have said that this here was closer to the comics and to the animated series, but then again the off yellowy look excuse me, with the slight tinge of orange does look really good on the shelf as well. But yeah, going back to the original first appearance Wolverine, as you can see, new gaining egg sculpt. Again, it's not too bad with the way this face is. I didn't like the growl as such on the head sculpt from the Wolverine Riders. He looked a bit of a dork, where on this one he does look like he's in more of an action pose or ready to go into fight, so I don't actually mind this head sculpt too much. And the Wolverine also comes with a couple of accessories. We've got 2 hands, which we've seen before, interchangeable. I really do like this blue. I prefer this blue over the royal blue that we get. For me, again, it's very more accurate, or comic book or animated series accurate to the way that Wolverine does look. The claws didn't come out too bad in the packaging. As you can see, they are the older type of claws, not like the newer claws that we got on the X-Force Wolverine. On the X-Force Wolverine, if you've not already seen the review or seen the pictures, the claws are a little bit thicker. So a little bit thicker, a little bit wider. I don't know if this is the way that forward that they're going to go from now on to include these claws. Maybe this one was a little bit too late. I do prefer these. They are a little more sturdier when it comes to the actual figure, but again, you can pop these guys out as well and place them for these, or obviously as we've seen, the metal claws that do the rounds as well. The hands pretty easy to interchange as well, which is good. Little peg, pops out, pop in, job done. That's nice and easy. In terms of paint imperfections, from what I can see on this Wolverine, I've got 0. The figure itself is done in a hard plastic, like modded all the way through. So like the body, the lower torso is all yellow plastic. Similarly with the butterfly joints, the arms are done in like a skin tone plastic. This painted bit here for the glove seems fine, no issues. Looks brilliant in terms of the lineage on the arms as well. Face deco, the eyes seem to be in the correct spot. Again, no issues with the paint detail there, so I'm really impressed with that. And these little shoulder fins, again, they were a lot smaller in the first appearance of Wolverine and a couple of comics after that as well, before they did get a little bit bigger. I thought they may look a little bit funny at first, prior to getting the figure in hand, because obviously on the original Tiger Stripe Wolverine, they are a little bit bigger. They do cover the tops of the shoulders. In my opinion, these do look a little bit better. But just having this figure in hand, they don't look too bad. After playing around with him, doing a few pauses, I quite like the way that this guy looks. And again, it's another Wolverine for the shelf. I think we're up to about 9 or something like that now, or something ridiculous. I'll do a comparison with a few Wolverines later on. But all in all, really nice figure. Gutted articulation, 360 in the arms, no issues in getting the arms out and up. Double jointed elbows, again, we've got a bit of a bicep here which stops the arm going any further than maybe 90 degrees. You probably could flip it or pull it round. Hands are done on a hinge, so they move that way. Head on a ball joint that does look up with a neck hinge as well, disc. So it can look up pretty far, so if you want to do a fastball special or having just look up in general, it's pretty good. Don't get any pivot as such of any significant detail. The ab crunch is what we come to expect with a Wolverine. Go pretty far back too, which is pretty good. Legs can kick out this far, or in fact I think they can go out a little bit further than normal. Reminds me of the Faulty Towers scene. Apprentice Toe. There we go, so you can kick out quite far. The boots are on a hinge or on a cut. He does have a boot cut in there, which is pretty cool. And then the feet are on a standard hinge and swivel or a pivot joint there as well. So all in all, really impressive figure. Another Wolverine to add to my shelf. With I think we've got another one to come out this year, which is like the Cowboy Wolverine. So next up, we're going to take a look at the Hulk. Again, comes with a couple of accessories in the form of hands. We've got a couple of gripping hands. They are pretty big. I think this Hulk is probably the biggest Hulk that maybe Hasbro have done in terms of girth. Yes, girth. He is a monster of a figure. As you can see, he's very wide in the torso area. The legs, very chunky. The feet, very chunky again indeed. This guy actually put me off buying the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Hulk, similarly because of the size, but also the actual facial expression. I think on this one is more pleasing. I've not owned a Hulk figure in some time personally, as my main focus has been on Spider-Man and X-Men, but having this guy in hand does really wants me to go and start collecting the maybe OG Avengers from the comic books, maybe start up a new collection. The guy is just absolutely phenomenal. He's a really heavy character. Comes with this torn shirt effect as well, which is pretty cool. It's not hard plastic, it's very thin plastic. It does feel like a little bit like paper. As you can see, it's very thin. I think with enough pressure you could probably even tear it, but in terms of playability, there's a lot of movement in this as well. There is a bit of, not sure what that is, don't know what that was, it's come off. There's no paint on the actual shirt itself, but as you can see, you've got a nice little deco. We've got some pockets either side, nice and torn. I think if they'd have done the lizard lab cut out of this material, the thinner material, it would have been better to pose, as like I said, there's just so much give in this plastic. And as you can see, the idea behind that is that he's just busted through his shirt, just rests nicely on his shoulders. That aside, move over to the paintwork of the Hulk, and as you can see, there's a couple of shades of green. We've got the dark shade, we've got like a light shade of green, which is airbrushed nicely to highlight the muscle definition, which is pretty cool. So Hasbro taking additional care with the paint. On the arms, you can see the veins nicely sculpted. I think on this one is the sculpt is going to be very similar to the SDCC exclusive one, with a couple of, I wouldn't say significant, but minute detail changes, such as the head. Just the green, it just pops. It's a fantastic looking figure. Move down to the legs, similar to what they've done with the lizard bath, again, where they have this piece of plastic which is molded over, which is then incorporated into like the knee piece, so it's like glued as an additional segment to the actual plastic leg itself, and then held in place with the hinge over the top, so that's nice. The knee is sculpted, so this groove is actually cut out, so it's not just like a bit of paint over the actual knee itself. It's actually cut out. It's got a groove or a rivet, so the riveting part to the actual kneecap itself. Similarly to this here as well, again it's not painted, it's sculpted and then painted in between, so that's a really nice touch. Got a open piece here on the rubber side of things, so again similar to the left leg, we've got like a rubber cap that sits on top of the leg, and this cut here we can see the leg's been painted fully. This is rested and glued on top. We've got a little hole. So yeah, back of the jeans, see some nice little pockets. They are textured to give you the idea that they are some kind of material or fabric. Didn't know if the Hulk actually wore pants or if he wore denim. Either way, they're stretchy, so maybe like jeggings. Does he wear jeggings? Is that the correct term these days? In terms of articulation with the figure, we've got a nice ab hinge, like on a dumbbell. Similarly with the head, if we just pop the head off, we've got these dumbbell joints. A nice big hole in the bottom of Hulk's head. Interchangeability for this head and the Hulk head should be pretty straightforward. The arms, full 360, single jointed elbow. We've got the hands which are on a hinge. Move up and down, which is pretty cool. As you can see, there is a differential colour change, so we've got a lighter green. What my feeling is behind this is that this is the green that's probably used on the SDCC, and they've just reused the hinge on the 2-pack, similarly with the internals of the arm. So that's the same colour green. It's not as noticeable as this one, as it has got a bit of airbrush in it as well. Got a bicep swivel, which is pretty cool on a figure this big. And then we've got these massive butterfly joints in the back of Hulk. Can move back stupidly far. My only gripe with this figure is that they don't do it at the front, but maybe that would have ruined the design of the figure itself. But as you can see, you get some silly amount of movement on that, moving his arms way back, so you can get him in some quite cool dynamic poses, which I'll be doing later on. We've got a waist articulation, which is cool. We've got a leg articulation. Can't kick out straight because of the way that the groin's cut. It does throw it off to one side slightly. We have got double jointed knees, can go back that far. And then good to see the foot on a pivot and a hinge joint, which is cool as well. Head can look up, not too much because of the neck and the hair. can look down significantly, and in terms of a pivot, you can get him to pivot his head at either side because of the dumbbell joint. So yeah, really impressive figure in whole. Like I said, it comes with a couple of hands as well. Easy to interchange, similar to Juggernaut. Pop out the hand, leave it pop, and there you go. Now we've got some gripping hands. And again, two huge gripping hands for the Hulk. So as you can see, to look at face on this 2-pack is really nice to look at. Like I said, predominantly been collecting X-Men and Spider-Man for the last couple of years. There were no way we're going to pass up on the first appearance Wolverine, so it's led me to purchase my first Hulk in a long time after selling my MCU versions and the select versions. So now I'm in two minds whether to keep this guy and start maybe an Avengers shelf, or just have him paused on his own with the first appearance Wolverine on his own little shelf or display area. Not too sure. What do you think I should do? Comment in the section below. Let me know what you think I should do with this Hulk. Is this a set you're going to be getting? You put off by it because, yeah, again, it's another Wolverine. I'd really like to obviously know your feedback as well regarding these new 2-pack, especially with the issues. So here we have a size comparison of the 2-pack Hulk alongside the 2-pack face-off Juggernaut. Slight modification made to this guy already. I do prefer this brown over the Build-A-Figure version. I've just added the belt to it. I think it makes the figure look complete. I think that was the only thing you was missing originally. But as you can see, if you've already got a Juggernaut figure, in terms of height, he is a bit of a monster, the Hulk. So he's nice, he's big, he's bulky, and again, when it comes to the shoulder stance, if you were to put them in front of each other, they're about the same width. Go back to back in terms of height, they're about the same height as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I won't be surprised if the scaling on this is what they've gone off either or. So we had the Juggernaut first, probably looked at that and gone, yeah, you'd make a really decent sized Hulk, and then applied that to the actual Hulk itself. So just looking at two chest pieces, then I thought they may have incorporated the same pet type of design, but they're not, they're different, which is pretty cool. So yeah, the Hulk in terms of comparisons with Juggernaut is a pretty impressive figure. What I'll do is bring in the Wolverine. Like I said, he is about a 95% reuse of what we've had before. So if you have got some Logan heads from previous figures, they will probably potentially fit. We'll do a couple of head swaps as well. But as you can see, other than the X-Force's boots, this guy is more or less a straight rip-off from the original Tiger Stripe, albeit with the exclusion of the shoulder pads as well. So the shoulder pads are a little bit different. Like I said, these ones on the Tiger Stripe are a lot bigger than the ones on the first appearance Wolverine. But like I say, in regards to the reuse of the boots, the thighs, the crotch, the gloves, the arms in some instances, so yeah, the arms are fine as well. Again, just really annoys me that they don't include the paint applications on the biceps itself. This one I had to manually do myself, whereas on this one, like I said, the X-Force one, they've already done the deco themselves itself. So it seems daft that they seem to be doing some but not others. So now we'll have a couple of head swaps, see what alternatives we've got. Like I said, this Wolverine being a 95% reuse, I wouldn't be surprised if all the heads that I've actually got actually do fit on this book. And what we'll probably find is that when the Love Triangle 3-pack does come out, it'll be this exact same Wolverine again, but with bigger shoulder pads from this guy here, modded and painted up to this colour. So if we have a look at the unmasked Logan head, so this one was from the Vintage Wave, or you could get it from the, I think it was the Puck Wolverine, or the Toys R Us Wolverine was the original one where it came from. So there we go, that fits on quite nicely, it looks really well, doesn't sit too high in the neck. Like I said, even the body on this one was from the vintage type Wolverine as well, which we've got. I think we've got something like 9 Wolverines that we can compare now, so I just picked out a random handful. This is the Days of Future Past Wolverine head, which came with the Sentinel. So that one fits fine too. Looks a little bit bigger on the body, but again sits nice on the neck, so it doesn't sit too high. Again, another alternative for your display or for your pictures. Looks pretty good. Just really dislike this mouthpiece here. Really dislike it. We've got the Screaming head from the Weapon X Wolverine, the more feral looking one. Again, that fits perfectly well. Hindered again just by the articulation because of the hair, but as you can see, it looks pretty good. All sides, that's perfect. And we've got Patch. Disappointed that this head doesn't look right on a suited body, but there we go on Patch. Sits pretty well. Looks pretty good. Again, no issues there. And then the last one we'll try for today is the Old Man Logan. This ball peg is too big. Skin tone's slightly off. If you wanted that to set your Wolverine, you probably have to put a bit of blue tack in there or something in order to stop it rolling around. But to me it looks like he's coming out of retirement. That's pretty good. Again, nice little fit. So yeah, that's all the head swaps. We'll put the original one back on. There we go. So that was the Marvel Legends UK review of the Wolverine and the Hulk twin pack, or like I say, the face-off pack. For me, it was a must get, simply just for the Wolverine alone. The idea is I don't really want to miss out on any X-Men figures that are being released, even if they are re-released like this guy. Originally had the Build-A-Figure, but again, I needed the Colossus, but also I really like the accessories that this thing did come with. Annoying for some collectors that obviously these figures were worth a pretty penny previously, and they are starting to come down in price as well with the re-releases, but it gives everybody a chance to hopefully own one of these figures. As we know that the Juggernaut was particularly hard to get hold of, the leg that came with Rogue and the head that came with the Wolverine, especially here in the UK. If you missed out, you were paying stupid money for both figures itself, so it's good to see that we are getting some re-releases. These guys I would highly recommend to any X-Men collector to pick up the Wolverine first appearance, as I don't see this head being available with any other kind of figure that we're going to get in the future. And if you are a completist like myself, when it comes to a certain line, he's a must-have for the collection. And this guy has absolutely blown me away. I'm now, like I say, in deep consideration to own or to do the Avengers line as well. So thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and keep safe, keep collecting. Take care. Bye.